the wicked bear rule over the just, and then the just bear rule over the wicked. And it says this also is a vanity. And so, again, if we're trying to rule over someone, again, that's that flesh trying to get our own way. God didn't set us up to rule over each other, And so that's our flesh, just ruling like, hey, you're doing, we're judging them or whatever the case may be, like you're doing wrong or you should be doing this or that. You kind of think of it as a boss man, I guess. The boss man's telling you do this, do that, and half the time they ain't right. I've had some of them, I've just had to do what I know is right because they keep telling me the wrong thing to do, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't know why they would ask me to do the wrong thing or do it the wrong way even, But yeah, it says, and this is of course of Solomon here, it says, I said that this also is vanity. And so when we try to rule our flesh, we try to bear rule over someone, or we think of ourselves better than someone, it's a vanity. It's vain. We have to rely on God. And if we're, judging someone else, or if we're, trying to talk to someone else, we shouldn't be just outright judgmental. We shouldn't just be like, oh, you did this wrong, and you did this wrong, and you did this wrong. And if we're doing that, it needs to be because God told us to. We prayed to God and said, God, put your Holy Spirit on me and, give me the words to talk to this person so that I don't offend them and so that I can draw them closer to you. And that's how we should go about it. We shouldn't try to bear rule because we bear rule and we think we're better than someone. Again, that's that flesh. And so it says that also is a vanity. So we don't want to be vain in what we do. We want it for God's glory. And if we do it like we're bearing rule, we're doing it for our glory and what we think's right. And the last verse I got for this lesson is Isaiah 26:7. It says, the way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, dost weigh the path of the just. And so again, the way we should live as Christians is just, is upright, is righteousness. By faith, we shouldn't divert from that. And it says at the end of that verse, it says, thou most upright dost weigh the path of the just. So God weighs our path for us. He's got our path already cut out in front of us. And of course, we don't see that. We can't see into the future, and not unless God tells us, what's coming. I've had a few times I've prayed to God, and it'd be something like because I've just lived a poor life, I guess, but it'd be like a money situation, and God, the Spirit would hit me, and it's a different feeling when the Spirit hits you, because that's God. He'd tell me, hey, money, I'm about to get you some money, and all of a sudden there'll be money in my account or something like that. And so that, like I said, our paths are already weighed out in front of us for the just. But the wicked, you like I said, you want to turn back to all that other stuff. There's paths going every which wrong way you could go. But the path of the righteous and just is just forward. It says, straight and narrow is the gate, but wide is the way that leads to destruction. And so if the path is narrow, he had to etch that out for us, because if he didn't, then again, if we relied on that flesh, we'd be this way, that way. Spiritually speaking, we'd be going every which way there was. But it says the way of the just is uprightness. And I don't know how many people I've seen, they don't want to live upright. And so there's really nothing more I can say to expound on that. That's just, it says it perfectly clear. The way of the just is uprightness. So, again, if we want to live uprightly, we should be praying, we should be reading our Bible, we should be basically, like I said, relying on God, having faith in Him. And just like I said, if we get to the point where because I've done it before, I'm guilty of it myself. I've relied on my flesh. I didn't pray about something before I acted, and like I was telling y'all before, like I said, I'd say something to somebody and I said it wrong, and the problem was, it wasn't that I said it wrong, it was that I didn't pray before, I just didn't pray. I went and done it on my own. And so again, if we rely on that flesh, that's not what we should do. We should rely on God's Spirit, because it says again that He weighs the path of the just. Their path, like I said, it's already cut out for us. If we live that just life, it's blessings. But like it says, if we live that unjust life, it's wickedness and mischief and folly and basically just tribulation, like we learned on last week, tribulation.